Good morning, everybody.
It's 7 o'clock.
It's 7 a.m. It's Lindsay Huddleston with another SPS Monday Motivation. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Hot weekend. Got outside and rode my bike. Not to be confused with motorcycle. I don't try to front like a bicycle. Got some exercise in. Here in my beloved city, Detroit, was popping off the hook from riding downtown to, I'm sure, 7 Mile and others. Who is this at 7 a.m. like clockwork? It's Michelle Mimi Watkins. Good morning. Good morning, Michelle. How are you? Hope you and the family are doing great. Good to see you. Actually, Michelle, I want to have a continuation from our discussion we had last week. And as you can see by today's topic, it is be inspired, not envious. Be inspired, not envious. One thing I can say is that I have to recognize from a psychological perspective, doing PhD research, you find yourself doing deep dives on a number of topics. And even on this one, got my brother Kevin Marshall, Coach Kevin Marshall. Good morning, my brother. How you doing? I was just telling Michelle I'm extending the topic from last week when we had that terminology, be inspired, not envious. And I found an article called The Evolutionary Psychology of Envy and Jealousy. Uh-oh. Can you send this to somebody? The evolutionary psychology of envy and jealousy. And before I even get into that article, let's just define some words here. I said be inspired. What is being inspired, folks? Of extraordinary quality, as if arising from some external creative impulse. I'm going to come back to that, but I'll read it one more time. Inspired of extraordinary quality, as if arising from some external creative impulse. Very nice, very nice. I'm going to come back to that. It's about to get deep. Yeah, we about to get deep. It's right. Exactly. So even with that definition, let's talk about envy. What is the definition of envy? A feeling of disconnected or resentful longing aroused by someone else's possessions, qualities, or luck. Amen, amen, amen. I'll say it again. A feeling of discontented, I said get disconnected mistakenly earlier. Discontented or resentful longing aroused by someone else's possessions, qualities, or luck. Man, that just sounds so bad. You resent somebody, you discontent, you got discontent going on in your heart, and this is because somebody else has some possessions, qualities, or luck. But one thing I got from the article, Michelle, and I will say this, points to what we're talking about getting deep. And check this out. It says, ironically, what you really value in life is more often revealed by asking yourself who you are jealous of rather than asking yourself directly, what do you value? So before I can say, Lindsay, what's important to me? I need to ask myself, Kevin, who am I jealous of? We talk about some real internal conversation that is worth having to evaluate. Look who's here. Good morning. Good morning, my mother, Patricia England, joining us. She's been working some hard hours lately during tax season. Now she has a break. I'm glad you can join me, Mom. We're talking about being inspired and not envious and getting into the evolution of envy and where it comes from. But I'll read this term again, though. This is from the article, The Evolutionary Psychology of Envy and Jealousy. Ironically, it says, what you really value in life is more often revealed by asking yourself, who are you jealous of, rather than asking yourself directly, what do I value? See, the thing about jealousy and envy is that it's a natural emotion. And you can say, I'm not like that, but I think many times you have to catch yourself. Because normally what will happen is you will see something, you hear something, you're being made aware of something, and an envy, it might come to the forefront as an initial reaction. Doesn't mean that's who you are. It doesn't mean that's how you're living, but you might be like, wow, all right now, who are you jealous of? Yeah, some internal conversation. Who has had some type of success, or when they have it, you cannot tell me as a human. You cannot tell me that in many cases, in some cases at least, when you see someone's success, depending on if it catches you off guard, if you feel for whatever reason, and we're judgmental as human nature, dictates that person shouldn't have that, or you wasn't waiting on that. Michelle say, fact. She's right here with me. Thank you, Michelle. You may be like, oh man, how did I get that? Or like, dang, well, I want that. Now, you may catch yourself because we are all good, God-fearing Christians, and we try to get back to our better selves. But the question becomes, if you can say, well, why am I jealous of, quote unquote, Barack Obama? Well, because he's the man. He has all this. He can do these things. Why am I jealous of Michelle Obama? Because she's the woman, because she has this, et cetera, et cetera. I just use those as two examples. It's really telling you what you really value. So maybe there's a way that instead of us being envious of something, we can be inspired by taking a moment and having an honest conversation. Thank you, brother. Kevin Morrow said, yes, sir, speak on it. And when we see something that we like and we can say, I'm human, let me recognize that I'm being envious. Let me recognize that I'm being a little discontented. Let me recognize that I'm being aroused by what this person has achieved and say, okay, why am I that way? Is it something that I want? Because sometimes we can be jealous or envious of something we don't even want. Sometimes, and I won't even say we, because everybody on this feed is a perfect person. No, I'm just joking, right? But I'll shift it so not to put so much drama and negative emotion from the person where it's coming from. But sometimes people are envious of something they don't even want. It could just be that they don't like the fact that somebody else got it. That can still go back to what it is that we really find ourselves value, that we value. It could be the amount of attention the person gets. That person may be, the world-class jump roper, and you hate jumping rope since you was a kid. Can't stand it. You run kids from the front of your house if they jumping rope, right? I know that's not true, but I'm just saying. But if this person gets the international title for jump roping, it may be the attention that they get that you're envious of. So I think it's fair to say when we see things that we may naturally become envious of, that it helps us get a better understanding of what it is we value. Now, getting back to the positive part of this, and I'll say it's all positive, if you will, because we're learning and we're sharing and all those type of things. What did my brother Kevin say? Kevin said, we just talked about this yesterday on my podcast, Celebrating Our Brother's Success. Why is it so hard for friends to do that? Why don't they celebrate other people's success? I don't know, man. It's a tough way to go. It's a real tough way to go. I've always told you, no one is better than you. Continue to thrive for what is for you. That is correct. That is correct. Mama said it. Kevin said it. I don't know, man. I just think that the people that you're most closest to is just, I won't go as far as to call it a character flaw. I got a good friend who says sometimes these are our blind sides. I just think that it comes down to depending on what your relationship is with that person, it may be hard just to give it up. But if you can come from a place where you're just trying to be inspired rather than be envious, that can get you going. Shout out to Kevin. I know you got your podcast rocking. You got some major things going on, being a coach, being a great family man, being a father. Shout out to Michelle, all the work she does with New Breed Track Club, being a great mom, Kyra Jefferson. We know and love Kyra, being a great wife to Orlando. And shout out to my mother and all the work she does, just not with helping raise her son or grandson and being a great person, just the things she give back. Kevin, but back to your question, I really don't know, man. I just think that it's like people have in their mind who they believe that they are to be and who they believe someone else may be. And for whatever reason, it's uncomfortable for people to let someone get outside of that visual of who they are to them, their perspective. But all the more reason folks to be inspired and not envious, because you see that we're battling with some things that are really deep-seated. And you can only ask that a person can be just that, Be happy for the person who has a great opportunity going on. Let your creative mind go, because if you notice that in the definition of inspire, it talked about that external part, that thing that is beyond us, to let that part come and go and grow, and great things happen with that. Kevin says respect. I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate you and all that you do and all that you have going on. So I think this was a good morning, and what we've been able to share, what we've been able to put out there, what we've been able to kind of learn, not only about the world, but maybe even about ourselves. And these natural human emotions that we all experience are fair. I mean, I think to say that you can't be naturally envious and then correct it is a realistic response, because that's to say you can't see something that makes you sad and not be moved by that. We all are human. We have these emotions, but I think to get a better idea of the origin of where this envy is coming from, and to be able to recognize that this is envy and jealousy, and what can I do to turn around and make sure that I am what? That I am being positive, that I am being inspired. I'm thinking about, don't be envious of somebody's success, but be inspired by their success and be happy for them. Something we all can learn from. I won't keep you guys too much longer. See my guy, Brandon Brooks. Morning, Cuzzo. How you doing, man? Representing from the Shire. How you doing, family? Good to see you. Thank you for stepping in. We're getting ready to wrap up this morning, Monday motivation, but the topic today was be inspired and not envious. And I think the real nugget a lot of us can take away from it comes from a psychological research article, Brandon, called The Evolutionary Psychology of Envy and Jealousy. And I'll leave you guys with this one more time. It said, what we really value in life more often is revealed by asking yourself who you are jealous of, rather than asking yourself directly, what do I value? So who are you jealous of? And it's just a natural reaction. Mom saying, good morning to you too, B. Good morning, Brandon. Wishing you and the family all the best. So it's a great thing when I can have family and friends on the morning motivation. Wish you a great thing for a great, great week going forward. And I will say lastly, and this has nothing to do with any psychological research. This is me sharing my experience in life. When I find myself rooting for other people, other opportunities open up for me. And I just had an example of that just on Friday. Me being in the mindset that I could be happy and root for other people's success. And unbeknownst to me, I get some great success with that. So with that being said, I want to encourage you guys on this Monday motivation. Go and have a great day. I want you to be inspired and not envious. Envy and jealousy can sometimes be natural things that happen to us as humans. And once we recognize it, we want to correct it and be able to move forward. As my brother Kevin Marshall says, yes, sir. With that being said, brother, thank you for, and I appreciate all you guys. And I'll talk to you next time. Peace.